Yeah, so I'm a little bit pissed. I don't know what happened, but the stream just suddenly, boop, it ended. So I was like, you know what? I'm getting back on. I'm doing part 2. So part 1 exists, but it fell short, so we're just doing part 2. Let's see. So yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know if YouTube just decided to censor me and decided just to cut the stream. That's weird. It's funny how I started revealing that the Epstein connection to Bitcoin, and all of a sudden, suddenly we're not getting any of your feed. We're not getting any of your signal. So that's interesting. Give me a moment, you guys. I'm a little bit pissed right now at YouTube. I've been pissed at them for a while. Yeah. Well, we're getting there, though. We're getting there. And hey, if the stream ends prematurely, we're doing a part 3, dude. We're doing a part 3. We're doing that. Give me just a moment. All right, give me a moment, you guys. We're going to get a poll going as well. Let's get the poll going. All right, let's keep doing this, man. We're going to keep doing this. We're going to keep rolling. Oh, TJ, what up, dude? Yeah, no, for some reason YouTube kicked me off. I was actually live just about for 17 minutes, and all of a sudden, bam, the connection got cut. So I had to start a part 2 of this because I was trying to do a full stream, but YouTube in there, I don't know if it was YouTube's fault or my ISP's fault. I can't tell. But yeah, we're unveiling the connection between Epstein and Bitcoin, and we're watching the rest of this video. We were about probably 3 minutes.
Was written after Jeffrey Epstein.
Yes, this is the part we were at. Where are we at? Here we go. Give me just a moment, you guys. Okay, so we're going to watch the rest of this. Very frustrating indeed that part one of my live stream just ended up going kaboop. I don't know if it was probably my internet connection. I don't know. I also restarted my computer to be on the safe side and just closed all the different applications. Well, let's keep watching.
Became the de facto financial backer of Bitcoin's core development team. And then it goes into the specifics of the different holding companies, the different shell companies that Epstein was a part of that allowed him to engage with ownership and management of equity investment in Blockstream Corporation, and how he had these different connections and different involvements with not just the development of Bitcoin itself, but how he actually was able to be one of the early investors.
And it's so suspicious. Like I said, I consider him one of the funding fathers of Bitcoin, if you think about it, the funding father, because it's PDF file money. It's basically tarnished PDF file money. And that's the problem with it. It's used by criminals. At the end of the day, most people who use it are criminals. Not everybody, but the majority of the time it's used by ransomware attackers. It's used by these shitty people out there. I honestly am not a fan of crypto, and it's so crazy that Jeffrey Epstein was one of the original funders of Bitcoin. I mean, that's wild to think about, man. BTC failed the purity test. But no, it's good to see you, TJ, on here. You guys will have to forgive me. My toothache is kind of dying down finally. It's finally going down. It just kind of hurts a little bit. That's right, though. All right, here we go. Let's keep watching, man.
Investors in these huge platforms, the Coinbase investment. This was something that I was completely unaware of. So in 2014, Brock Pierce, for those that do not know who he is, I quickly looked him up. And again, this is who it shows that he is. And it says Brock Pierce, former child actor, Tether co-founder and serial crypto entrepreneur, told Epstein that his fund Blockchain Capital was investing in Coinbase's next round. Pierce said that he would need your permission.
Crazy. Crazy. I'm so curious, though, about all this. I really am. This is so fascinating, man.
To let the founder know who you are. But Epstein's identity would be...
Let's see. TJ says, I have a cure for toothaches. Pull them all and get dentures. I haven't had a toothache. It's not a bad idea. No, I'm actually going to get... there's this toothpaste I purchased that actually fills in cavities. It's actually meant to fill in cavities completely. It's a crazy toothpaste. Like it's... so I'm pretty sure I got a cavity in one of my teeth. Just one of them. And it's just kind of like... it's got some cold sensitivity right now to it. So, and when it's cold, it's like, oh, I can feel it. Like, I can feel like, oh, I don't know. It's frustrating. But yeah, I think, it's definitely hurting a little bit for sure.
Would not be disclosed beyond that. Epstein said, yes, okay. He committed a $3 million investment to Coinbase through a shell entity, IGO Company LLC. By 2018, Blockchain Capital offered to buy out Epstein's, which settled at a purchase of 50% of his stake for $15 million. So $3 million turned into $15 million, and that's valuing Coinbase at $4 billion.
Crazy. See, you know what? Jeffrey Epstein probably got really rich off this. Straight up, probably got really rich off this shit. Holy crap, man. Holy crap.
The payment went through another entity, Epstein entity, in 2017 of Caterpillar Trust. Again, just a bunch of different shell companies to hide the identity of Epstein. To me, it just shows, again, how much effort was put
the
in
funding father,
to not
dude.
show
He was.
Epstein's involvement in the development of Bitcoin.
I think it's wild just how involved he was. I really do. I think at the end of the day, it's so crazy just how involved he was in the Bitcoin world. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. And look, I think it's all Ponzi money. But yeah, I'm definitely struggling a little bit. It's one of those toothaches that you could just, I'll get over it.
The thing that I want to quickly show is that Coinbase, obviously now being publicly traded, remember it said that $15 million buyout was at a $4 billion valuation. The current market cap has now 10x'd from that. Right now it's at a $43 billion market cap. So it's really interesting to see that, okay, they said that they did a 50% buyout of his stake for $15 million. So that's pretty interesting because, well, now, it doesn't mean that he still owns that other 50% of the original $3 million investment.
TJ says XRP over BTC. Oh, man. I don't know. As much as I want XRP to go do good, only for your sake, TJ. That's the only time I've ever really rooted for a crypto is XRP. I still am not a crypto fan at all. I still think it's intrinsically worthless, and I do think it is Ponzi money at the end of the day. But yeah, the more I learn about Bitcoin, it's crazy how involved Jeffrey Epstein was in Bitcoin, and in all reality, you know, Bitcoin paved the way, obviously, for all these other cryptocurrencies. And all cryptocurrencies, by the way, Ponzi schemes. Oh, man, I'm telling you. I cannot wait to get this toothpaste in the mail. It's going to help quite a bit. It's going to help a lot. But it's a very specialized toothpaste. Yeah, it's true. XRP isn't doing that, no. Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to go to bed probably a little earlier than usual. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I just need to look at some quick remedies just to stop it. Let's see. Saltwater rinse might not be a bad idea. Let's see. Warm water, swish for 30 seconds and spit. Draws out debris. Peppermint tea. Yeah, I'm just looking for something quick, man. Oh, no, I'm not doing baby oil, dude. Give me 1 second. I think I have a solution. Okay, ice pack. All right. Oh, give me one moment, you guys. Okay. All right. Hard brushing and hydrogen peroxide is king. Hell yeah. Yep. Oh, okay. Here we go. This should help with the swelling at least. Oh, there we go. Oh, so I'm gonna be doing the show with an. It's gonna be interesting, actually. It's gonna be kind of fun. So, this is actually helping.
But if he did, what would that look like, right? 10x from that, I mean, that would be quite pretty, right? 150 million is potentially what it could be worth. And that's just with his, what would have been 50% of the 3 million, the $1.5 million investment through Coinbase. So Brock Pierce's pipeline. Pierce wasn't an investor. He was Epstein's gateway into the entire crypto world.
Holy shit.
For those that do not, this is Pierce, right? I already showed him. Pierce first met Epstein.
So this Pierce guy sounds like a total creeper too. He's hanging out with Epstein and be like, "Hey, bro, I heard you like Bitcoin. I heard you want to create this crypto shit." And yeah, it ended up being a crazy dude, crazy. But Yeah, no, this is helping with the toothache, though. Hydrogen peroxide rinse is a game changer. Yeah, so actually, let me note that down real quick. That might actually... I just need something temporary, too, so even if it's like hydrogen... Come on, not today. Not today. Let's see. Hydrogen. Yeah, next time I'm at Walmart. Oh, yeah, there we go. But this is actually feeling all right, though. This is surprisingly helping out quite a bit, more than I realized. Oh, but yeah, no, overall it's like crypto, my grifto, dude. No, I still am not a big fan of cryptocurrency, as you all know. I do think that thank you for the tip, TJ. I do appreciate that, man. I really do appreciate it. There we go.
At the Mind Shift conference on Little St. James Island in 2010, a PR event designed to rehabilitate Epstein's reputation after his 2008 conviction. The conference was such a failure that Epstein wrote himself a fake email pretending to be an attendee praising the event. And through peers, Epstein got access to everything. It's so odd that, I mean, they're pretty high profile figures in the space of crypto. And while all this speculation is now coming out, you're telling me...
Well, and I think I know why, man, because you think about it, it's like all the people who are into crypto, at least not all but all the early adopters of crypto, like we're talking about early creators of Bitcoin, the people who are involved in the Bitcoin project, it was definitely... The whole goal was to have something that you could use for nefarious purposes. That was the whole point of it. And, it's pretty shitty at the end of the day. This feels a little bit strange. Oh, here we go. Let's get it right there. Oh, yeah.
That these people, Pierce, Steve Bannon, the Winklevoss twins, all of these guys know that Epstein had early involvement in the development of crypto, but didn't say anything. Again, super convenient, right?
It's probably,
if you guys
it's
have
possible
time,
they didn't
I
know
would
the
look up
extent.
this article so you can read all of it. I just, again, don't want to read it word by word for you guys, but I want to highlight specific points. The idea is great. The execution, as you are now aware, has some serious risk. Jeffrey Epstein, an email to Bitcoin lead developer Gavin Anderson. When looking at, again, another major take is, 1, you can merely work for me, salary. 2, start a company and hire others. I make an investment. 3, do research. I can easily pay for your tuition. Jeffrey Epstein's email to Bitcoin developer Jeremy Rubin in 2015. The Bitcoin airdrop in 2014. Ito spent $120,000 of Epstein's money on MIT's Bitcoin club. Jeremy Rubin and Richard Nee ran the club at the time and used some of the money to gift $100 in Bitcoin.
Okay, that is actually surprisingly helping. The frozen peas is actually helped constrict the blood vessels enough to where it's like I could finally feel a little bit of sense of relief. One more time here. Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah. Well, I appreciate it, TJ. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, I just did some mouthwash for a bit. I figured mouthwash would probably help out anything. It's a little too bad in there, but thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Coin to each MIT's 45,000 undergrad students. Epstein's money was literally distributed to thousands of college students in the form of Bitcoin, a mass adoption event funded by a pedophile.
Of course, because Bitcoin was created by a PDF file, and it was distributed because he wanted everybody to be a PDF like him.
Pipeline. Epstein didn't just fund developers, he built the intellectual pipeline that made something like Bitcoin possible. In 1990, he began funding the Santa Fe Institute, the world's leading center for complexity theory. Complexity theory is the study of how simple rules create unpredictable systems, how individual agents following the local rules produce emergent global behavior that no one designed or controls.
Complexity theory is an interesting one, actually. It's cool they bring this up. So exactly, simple, like for instance, simple logical patterns, if combined, if you combine several different complex logical patterns, you can create a very advanced system. And it's crazy how simple systems you can actually create complex chains and complex results. Very fascinating stuff, man.
This is literally what Bitcoin is. Thousands of individual nodes following simple rules. Verify transactions, solve hash puzzlings, accept the longest chain, and out of that emerges a decentralized financial system with no central bank, no authority, just emergent order with simple rules. He bought the land next to the birthplace of the atomic bomb to recruit displaced physicists and mathematicians.
That is crazy. Holy shit. No, that is kind of wild, actually. In a lot of different ways, that's wild. Holy crap, man. Holy smokes. Thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in a lot of ways, so you guys are incredible. Let's keep rolling.
That type of mind who would conceive of a decentralized, trustless currency. He was funding the theoretical framework of Bitcoin for years before Bitcoin existed. The question nobody wants to ask. Satoshi Nakamoto, the pseudonym of creator of Bitcoin, has never been identified.
I think I think there is a possibility that Jeffrey Epstein was Satoshi. There is an interesting probability. I remember Dan Pena in one of his talks. Dan Pena was saying, "I know who the creator of Bitcoin is, and if it was ever to be revealed, it would crash Bitcoin to zero." And I think he might have knew that Epstein or somebody like Epstein was one of the real creators of Bitcoin. It's probably why he kept his name under the table. Aaron Russell says, we're growing the channel, bro. Absolutely. Thank you, Aaron Russell. Aaron Russell, you've been a big part of this growth, by the way. I want to thank you for helping the channel grow. Aaron Russell, you're the man. You're so beautiful. You're the man, bro. I love you, bro. My brony, bro. But thank you guys for tapping the subscribe button. Let's keep going, man.
Papers published in 2008, Satoshi disappeared from public communication in 2011. Here's what we know about Epstein in the same window. He was obsessed with cryptography. He was recruiting elite hackers and cybersecurity.
Oh, he was obsessed with cryptography. Okay. I see. This list says he was recruiting elite hackers and cybersecurity experts. He tried to attend DEF CON in Black Hat. He was in contact with the people who took over Bitcoin's development after Satoshi vanished. He funded the institution that became Bitcoin's home. Interesting. Very, very fascinating. One moment. It is crazy. Epstein could be Satoshi Nakamoto, is what this guy's theorizing. And I will say, if that is the case, if he happens to be Satoshi, That blows the lid off of a lot of stuff, man. That changes the game. It changes the game, bro. In many, many ways. Many, many ways. But, yeah, no, I think... No, what I'm trying to say is he was funding a lot of the projects well before Coinbase. It was theorized that he was one of the actual prime creators, one of the OG creators of Bitcoin, which would be fascinating if true. I don't know if it's true, but I will say I wouldn't be shocked if it were. That's all I'm saying.
Experts. He tried to attend DEF CON and Black Hat. He was in contact with people who took over Bitcoin's development after Satoshi vanished. He funded the institution that became Bitcoin's home. He wanted information about himself scrubbed from the internet, exactly the kind of thing that you'd need if you created the world's most important anonymous technology. He was an early investor in Coinbase in 2014. The Hermit, and again, we're almost done with this. In his interview with Steve Bannon, recorded on camera now in the DOJ files, Epstein was asked how he saw himself. He didn't say investor. He didn't say philanthropist. He said, I'm a hermit.
I'm a hermit. Yeah, that is interesting that he would use those particular words. Very fascinating.
Then he called himself the greatest financial mind alive. A hermit is someone who operates in the dark, someone nobody sees, someone who builds from behind a wall of silence and lets the world guess. Satoshi Nakamoto published...
I mean, let's be honest. If it ends up being true that Jeffrey Epstein is one of the creators of Bitcoin, if not the creator itself, then I don't know what else to say. Crazy, though. Wild.
White papers in 2008 and reinvented money, then vanished. No interviews, no identity, no face. The most consequential financial architect of the century and a ghost. Epstein funded the developers who took over after Satoshi disappeared. He invested in the companies and built the infrastructure. He hid every dollar behind shell entities. He recruited through middlemen. He operated through layers. He wanted himself scrubbed from each search engine. A man who doesn't like records built the backbone of a recordless currency. Let me be precise. Jeffrey Epstein was not a coder. He did not write C++. He didn't design cryptographic protocols. He did not write Bitcoin's white papers. The chance that Epstein...
Okay, so really he didn't create... Okay. So he probably didn't create Bitcoin. But it is very possible that he was one of the people who funded the project. Think about it. I firmly believe that Satoshi Nakamoto is actually a group of people, not a single being, right? Not a single person. And because I believe that Satoshi Nakamoto is a group of people overall, it begs the question. It's not a matter of who is Satoshi, it's a matter of how many people are Satoshi Nakamoto. I think it was a group. I think Satoshi Nakamoto was a group funded by this man right here, Jeffrey Epstein. And now we're finally pretty much learning that he was one of the funding fathers. Ty Lord says, how's it going, Garza? I'm dealing with some tooth pain at the moment. I ordered I think I have a small cavity. It's just frustrating to deal with. So I ended up getting it's been a while since I've had a toothache. And I ended up getting a specific toothpaste that actually naturally fills in cavities. It's very specialized. It costs like $23, but the tube's pretty decent size. So, but yeah, it's worth it if it helps my teeth. So, and the whole idea is that it naturally fills in the cavities through I can't remember exactly what's in it. The reviews were excellent, though. A lot of people who had cavities actually basically didn't have any tooth pain anymore, and they were able to get rid of it, which was awesome. So, I mean, a lot of the reviews looked really good on Amazon, so I was like, I analyzed it as much as I could, and I was like, let's give it a try. So, yeah, I think I have a small cavity on one of my left one of my teeth right here. So, worst case scenario is I got to go into the dentist and just either have it removed or... Yeah, tooth pain is very frustrating to deal with, but there are ways. There are certain toothpastes out there that exist, thank goodness, and because of those, I'll be pain-free soon enough. I have to wait till either, I think it's Friday or Saturdays when the package arrives, so hopefully it arrives sooner rather than later.
Satoshi Nakamoto is low, but nothing is impossible. Epstein's genius was never invention. It was positioning. He found the builders, funded through them through shells, and sat invisible.
I will admit, I will say this about Epstein, he was an evil bastard, but he did understand how systems work. He understood how simple systems work and how they created complex systems, and how if you have the right people behind a project, you can create those complex systems like Bitcoin. And he had the right people behind the project. I'm firmly convinced that Epstein was a big part of the creation of Bitcoin. And the more I look into this, man, the more I'm starting to believe that may be the case. I think it is. And you call me crazy. Call me crazy. But I think he funded the project. I really do. I think he funded the project completely. And it makes sense. Makes perfect sense to me. Why he would, of course.
The center of everything that they created. That was the entire model, with scientists, politicians, billionaires, and now probably with the people who built Bitcoin. The real question isn't whether Epstein was Satoshi, it's whether he funded, organized, or commissioned whoever Satoshi was. And on that question, the DOJ files don't give us just a comfortable answer. He never once explained why. Nobody asked him, and now nobody can. The crypto community is already...
I will say, the crypto community is already in shock. One investor wrote, "We've basically funded an elite global pedophile ring since 2015. Yeah. And now everybody's selling off their crypto. Go figure, because you guys are running... Let's see... Yeah, actually, Tylord, you did say something along those lines that either Jeffrey Epstein was Satoshi or he funded Satoshi. You said something along those lines, and honestly, you were right on the money, dog. You were right on the money, bro. Fruit roll-up. Oh. All right, you guys, give me a moment. I am going hard. Oh, interesting. Yeah. All right. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it rolling. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go.
Already in shock, one investor wrote, "We've basically funded an elite global pedophile ring since 2015.
Yep.
I feel sick." He didn't build things himself. He positioned himself at the center of the people who built things, and he controlled the flow. He did it with politicians. He did it with scientists. He did it with billionaires. And the file...
Nate Dogg says, give us that ASMR. Oh, absolutely, dog. I got to give everybody the ASMR treatment. Oh, man. It's too good. Let's keep going.
Now show that he did it with the people who built the most powerful financial technology in human history. Bitcoin's whole promise was that it couldn't be controlled. No banks, no government, no gatekeeper. It was built to be the one thing that powerful couldn't touch. But if...
Yeah, and here's the thing. The funny thing about Bitcoin, it was... the irony of Bitcoin, it was funded by Jeffrey Epstein. Is all signs are pointing that it was funded. So these Bitcoin people, these avid Bitcoin people who say that Bitcoin's the future, bro. No, Bitcoin was funded by a pedo to create a currency that could not be touched by the government in any way, shape, or form and could be used for black market purchases and human trafficking and shit. The whole point of cryptocurrency was not to create a digital currency that would revive the world. Oh, no, it was meant for nefarious things. It was meant for terrible acts. Nate Dogg says the nurse only lets him out out an hour a day. Oh, man, that's funny. Oh, it's too good. But yeah, no, this is crazy. Like, so we're finding out that, you know, Bitcoin's funding father, the person who funded the project initially was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein funded Bitcoin and therefore either created the individual that is Satoshi or funded the group that is Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't know. Either way, all I do know is that it's looking like there is a strong possibility that I can't believe it. All you Bitcoin bros have really low key and didn't even realize it. You guys have low key been supporting Jeffrey Epstein all these years. All you Bitcoin bros have low key been protecting and helping Jeffrey Epstein by promoting Bitcoin, the greatest Ponzi scheme of all time. How do you guys feel? Do you guys feel ashamed of yourselves yet? Oh, man. This is great. You know, the downfall of Bitcoin has been one of the greatest things I've ever seen, and it deserves to crash. You want to know why it deserves to crash? Because it was pedos funded it big time. And it was created. Oh. It blows my mind, man. Aaron Russell says Kathy Wood said BTC is going to 1 million. Oh God. Kathy Wood is the worst investor of all time. I cannot stand Kathy Wood. It's sad because she actually runs ETFs, the ARK ETF, which is frustrating as hell. And it is frustrating. Very much. Oh, my goodness. But it feels good to have my hair. I cut my hair. I'm feeling fresh. I feel a lot more fresh and a lot better. Anytime I cut my hair, I just feel great.
Epstein was funding the developers, investing in the companies, and operating inside the infrastructure from the start. Then the thing everyone believed was...
How do you guys feel about this? How do you guys feel about the fact that it's highly likely that Jeffrey Epstein funded the Bitcoin project initially? And that the person who is either the group or the person that is Satoshi Nakamoto was funded by this pedo, right? Funded by this pedo named Epstein.
Was
Crazy.
free, was also already owned.
Nate Dogg is asking, did you use your vacuum clippers? And I say, yes. Yes. I love using my vacuum clippers, though, dude. I'm all about these. And it's, dude, no mess. Not a single mess to clean up. All the hair gets sucked up as it's getting cut. I do eventually want to upgrade to get a legit Flowbee and not a knockoff Flowbee like I have, but I do love my hair cutting device. It's amazing, and I don't have to go to a barber. Sterling Murray, 4925, just sent a 100 for 2 joules. Thank you so much, Sterling. I appreciate you. My pink brony bro, and you dance at the gay club. Oh my God, I'm just having fun.
Bitcoin was supposed to be freedom from the system. What if?
The irony about Bitcoin being freedom from the system, no. In all actuality, it was in perfect alignment with a underground ring of pedos. Because we all know that Bitcoin is the OG pedo currency. That people were using this currency to purchase cheese pizza. And not the kind of cheese pizza that you eat. They were using it to purchase illegal weapons. They were using it to accept payments for ransomware attacks. They would do ransomware attacks and be like, hey, if you want your computers back, you better pay daddy in Bitcoin. That's basically what they were doing. So I don't believe that a lot of the people out there that use cryptocurrency, I think a lot of them get sucked into it because the entire internet convinced everybody to get into Bitcoin. The entire internet, the people of the internet, mainly bots, I'm assuming, convince people to get into Ethereum, Bitcoin, Dogecoin, you name it, right? So I have this theory that he is Satoshi. Silk Road, exactly. Nate Dogg nailed it on the head. Silk Road, exactly. And it was one of the OG things. So from the very beginning, Bitcoin was dirty pedo money. From the very inception of Bitcoin, it was dirty pedo money. Crazy. Absolutely insane.
The system was there from the beginning. And again, this is a recap from Diana Wallace. You guys could find this fully on X. And if you really think about it, crypto is the perfect currency for someone like Epstein.
Yep. What did I? Anyway. Let's keep going.
A currency made by pedophiles for pedophiles. You guys
exactly. Oh my God. It's exactly what I said word for word. A currency created by pedophiles for pedophiles. That's exactly what I said word for word. Holy shit, dude. And nobody listened to me. I think it's what pissed me off the most. And nobody listened to me about crypto. Its lack of intrinsic value. I mean, basically, one of the reasons why crypto is crashing is because the knowledge that Epstein funded Satoshi Nakamoto. Anybody who uses Bitcoin, man, you are using a digital currency funded by a pedo for pedos. So, I mean, if I look at the price of Bitcoin right now, it's probably fallen quite a bit. Let's see. Bitcoin, my ClickCoin. Let's see if silver's going up, man. I love silver. You guys know that I'm a silver freak. And oh, looky here. Looks like silver is going up in value. Nice. Oh, it's at 68.73. My, oh my. See, I love the overnight silver markets. Let's see, 68.73. That would be. Oh wow, yeah. Let's go. Let's sell one share. Sell one share, 68.73. And right then and there, I just nailed a sweet profit. Oh, 68.74. What do you know? But yeah, I was able to sell it in the overnight market. It doesn't count as a day trade, which is nice. I love it. So you guys know that I love swing trading silver. I'm an addict to some degree. But hey, if it makes me money, it makes me money, man. It's one of those games. I do treat it like a game. It's not financial advice, but it's the truth. It's how I do it, man. It's how I roll. Damn, bro. Woo. See, so yep, that turns a profit right there.
Laugh out loud.
Hell yeah. Hey, we got a new subscriber. Thank you to Gwen Ham. Thank you, Gwen Ham, for becoming a subscriber. Everybody give a round of applause. Make sure you tap the subscribe button. It really does help the channel grow. Let's give one more shout out to Gwen Ham. One more time, everybody. That's the sound of my cheeks clapping. That's always the sound of my cheeks clapping. Anyway, but thank you so much, Gwen Ham, for becoming a subscriber. The more subscribers we get, the more it does help the channel grow. So I do want to thank every single person for taking the time to subscribe.
Down in the comment section what you think. Following up with, again, a video that is circulating from Dan Pena where he stated, if you knew...
No shit. No fucking shit. I brought this up. You guys remember earlier when I was talking about Dan Pena saying that if you knew who Jeffrey Epstein was, then crypto would then Bitcoin would go to zero. Holy shit. I'm actually shocked that this guy's bringing up that video. Because that's a video I saw like 4 years ago. And Dan Pena is kind of a hard ass, But yeah, I think Dan Pena knew who funded Bitcoin, but he had to keep it a secret.
Who created Bitcoin, it would go to zero.
Oh, no. Oh, it feels so good to be right. It really feels good to be right, dude. I can't believe he actually mentioned the Dan Pena video. That actually is pretty cool because I was talking about that about no more than 10 minutes ago. Because that's exactly what... I'll have to find that video, actually. Dan Pena, Bitcoin, straight up. It's amazing.
And if you look at Bitcoin's recent price action from 126 in just a few months, now down 50% to lows.
Oh, yeah, it's down 50% because I think people were slowly putting two and two together. And they were like, holy shit, this whole time we've been using a cryptocurrency that was OG funded by the OG pedo, Epstein. So that's what people realize, man. Give me a moment, you guys. Sorry about that. Crazy, though. Yeah, to some degree, it's not exactly that shocking.
Of 60, it really does show the uncertainty and how taken back the crypto community has been as light has begun to come out about Jeffrey Epstein's early...
Yeah, people are starting to just be like, oh, freaking shit. They're just like, screw this, man. All right. Give me a moment. One moment, you guys. Sorry about that. I'm checking a couple factors here. Yeah. I guess in the end it's not that shocking, but still.
Investment into the development of Bitcoin. Again, feel free to share your thoughts down in the comment section. And remember, you're an adult. You can do whatever it is.
Hey, you know what? I want to show some of the Major General Tao super chats real quick. I want to highlight these just because I appreciate Major General Tao. In fact, you know what? I'm going to highlight some of the super chats that have been sent over the last few days. I don't know. We'll kind of see how many we got here.
Laugh out loud.
Current mental health is a monopoly on drug sales.
Laugh out loud.
The homeless reincarnate into endless addiction.
All right, let's keep going, man. So what else do we got here? But yeah, Bitcoin sucks. And let's see where Bitcoin's at now.
Laugh out loud.
Andrew for president.
Laugh out loud.
Check out Nickelback, Too Bad, their best song.
Oh, man. This is crazy.
Laugh out loud.
In my hooves, inverted Tennessee.
That you want. If you still believe in the future of Bitcoin, that is your right as an American to want to invest into Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, dude. There is no future in Bitcoin. It was created
Laugh
by
out
pedos
loud.
for
I
pedos.
think there were pink ponies on the island.
It has
bro.
no intrinsic value, and it's a bullshit concept. At the end of the day, it's not a practical concept. It's a bad idea. Bitcoin is not sound money. It's pedo money. It's just, it has no intrinsic value. There's no
Laugh out
point
loud.
in Bitcoin.
Hence why they have to
All
save
dumb.
Gaza. Assets.
They call me Gaza. But that's just Major General Tao, though, one of the GOATs. Love Major General Tao. He's been a frequent contributor to the channel,
Laugh
and I
out
love him,
loud.
dude. He's amazing.
Tim, name your top 3 colors for ponies.
No. All right, let's keep going, you guys. Let's keep reacting to videos here. All right, let's keep going, man. What does Starfleet owe
But
my
based
soul?
off of what you now know, again, I hope that you can make an informed
Oh,
and
am I
calculated
in
decision
control?
to invest your money in actual assets that produce revenue. A constant comparison that is given is that, oh, you know, the market cap right now for Bitcoin is like 1.4 trillion versus they like to compare it to the Mag 7 companies like Microsoft.
You cannot compare Bitcoin to any of the Magnificent Seven companies because Bitcoin is intrinsically worthless. Just because Bitcoin has a $1 trillion market cap does not mean Bitcoin is a failed project. A failed project funded by a pedo, created probably by pedos, and everything else. So basically, Bitcoin is pedo money, dude. It is. It's pedo money.
Like Apple. Let me make this very clear. You cannot compare Apple to oranges. If you owned 100% of Apple, you would make billions.
You're actually owning a company. If you invest in Apple, you are actually the owner of a company. If you throw your money at Bitcoin, like if you trade your hard-earned dollars for Bitcoin, you are basically buying a worthless string of data that means nothing, that has been overvalued for far too long for no reason. And the internet it's tulip bulb syndrome, and the Bitcoin bubble is finally popping, and I hope that Bitcoin does go to zero. I really do. I hope that Bitcoin goes to zero so fucking hard.
Of dollars in net profit every single year. If you owned 100% of Bitcoin, you would make nothing. You would have some pretty code you can stare at, and that's about it. Do not compare
You shouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Because Bitcoin's not an investment; it's a liability, and it's a pedo Ponzi scheme at the end of the day.
actual business that produces revenue to a speculative asset that does nothing.
If Bitcoin went into the negatives, that'd be funny, dude.
It's been over 15 years since the development of
Okay, obviously Bitcoin can't go into the negatives, but if that were possible, that'd be amazing.
Bitcoin. And guess what? It has not been adopted. A very simple question to challenge any crypto investor. Why is it taking so long for anyone?
Yeah, Bitcoin is not massively adopted. And by the way, after the news that basically Bitcoin is pedo money, Bitcoin's never going to be adopted. It's not. It's a bad idea. It was a bad idea from the start. companies don't. First off, it's not a sound currency. There's nothing sound about Bitcoin. Anytime I hear stupid fucks like Michael Saylor say Bitcoin is sound money, no, it's not. It's a string of data backed by nothing but code. Holy fucking shit. I don't know. It just blows my mind, the ignorance from guys like Michael Saylor. He's ignorant to what sound money actually is. That's the sad part about Michael Saylor. He doesn't know what sound money actually looks like.
Want to actually use Bitcoin. No grocery store, no retail stores are accepting crypto.
Yeah.
It has
Why would
become
they?
very simple. You even have the founder of Ethereum making it clear, where crypto has become a speculative, tradable asset. And
that's all it is, because it's not. Nobody wants to use it. Why would anybody want to use it? I would rather just hold on to my assets, let the dividends come in. I'll use the cash from the dividends, blah, blah, blah. And if inflation happens, fine. The company's going to grow anyway that I have. The companies that I own. Save your assets, not your cash. Save your assets, not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. All cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme. Save yourselves, and save yourselves. Bitcoin, and this is not financial advice because, well, first off, Bitcoin's not really a financial instrument. It's a Ponzi instrument. And all cryptocurrency is grifter money, and it's stupid. It sucks.
if not more development and innovation happens in the crypto space, that's all it will ever become. The biggest difference is if crypto is supposed to be a solution, what solution is it being by just being a tradable, speculative asset? Again, food for thought. I appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah, Ricky Gutierrez, man. Make sure you guys subscribe to this guy. He's really cool. Ricky Gutierrez. Tap the like button, tap the subscribe button for him. Really cool dude. What does Starfleet on my soul? Or am I in control? When two rage baiters meet,
Man.
no way, dude. Yes. I've been waiting for this. I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. When two rage baiters meet, let's take a look at this. This is good.
Get out of here. You're ridiculous. You just don't get it. No. Well, hey, I mean, at least we can agree that The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars. Okay, sure.
This is gonna be
That's
good.
just like how Jared Leto's Joker was actually peak.
Oh no! I'm gonna get. Oh man, I'm gonna throw my computer. I might get raged. I might get enraged by watching this, dude. This is gonna be fun, dude. Oh, dude, Andrew Russo. By the way, if you guys don't know who Andrew Russo is, he is one of the best comedians on YouTube. At Andrew Russo. I'm gonna tap the like button on this. By the way, let's keep going.
Super good. Yeah, no, I could see that. Because for me, LeBron, he's just not even top 10.
Oh no!
Fair point. Because also, like, Japan, it's just not that cool. Nah, man, I think Japan's cool. I mean, yeah, no, it's not, actually. The whole place is fake and overrated. Right. Just like Halo 3. Nah, man, okay, leave the chief out of this.
Leave the chief out of this. Say what you want about the rings, Randall. No. Say what you want about Jesus, Randall, but leave the rings out of this. Oh, man.
I mean, yeah, that whole story arc was pretty derivative. And stupid. So happy you're not offended. That's the thing with ribeyes, too. They should only be served well done. Yes, and the best part of ketchup is that first watery splooge. Sure, but let's get...
Oh, God. This is good, dude. This is peak rage bait, dude. Andrew Russo understands. Honestly, Andrew Russo might understand popular culture better than anybody. I love this kid. He's probably about my age, so he's probably not a kid. But anyway.
Real though, because Anna de Armas is a soft 5. That's valid, she's mid. And Radiohead isn't really that good. And butt stuff is like eating artichokes. It's a lot of prep, but for a little pleasure? Agreed. Just like how
This is great, dude. This is amazing.
$5 is a very reasonable and fair price for a McChicken. Yeah, and like how golden retrievers are actually kind of mischievous. And Hellcats aren't that fast, they're just lax. Season 8 of Game of Thrones aged really well. Every country should get a few nukes, that way everyone's scared to use them. Okay, that's just a fair take. Yeah, that one checks out. Same time next week. Sure. Little kissy kiss at the end. Always.
This is amazing.
Man.
That was awesome. Andrew Russo, the GOAT, dude. The greatest of all time, bro. Love Andrew Russo so much. My brony bros. I love Andrew Russo, bro. My pink brony warriors, dude. You guys are my pink brony bros, dude. Let's see here. Well, let's type in more Epstein Bitcoin stuff. Let's see Epstein Bitcoin. Let's just keep the road going here. Let's keep the road going. Oh, my goodness. Still having a little bit of a toothache. Ugh. It's a pain in the ass. Let's see. Give me a moment, you guys. Give me a moment. Did Uncle Jeffy invent Bitcoin? That's the ultimate question. And there is a connection here. There is a real connection, unfortunately. It's crazy. But yeah, there's a real connection here, man. There's a real connection, bro. Well, I'm trying to look for let's just look at this one.
To understand the whole Epstein Bitcoin narrative that's surfacing right now.
Oh God, she's a Bitcoin shill, by the way. This gal is a total Bitcoin shill, but we'll watch her anyway.
As well as what is happening to the Bitcoin price, we need to learn some interesting history and expose a century-long financial industrial complex operation that is likely connected.
By the way, Bitcoin, just to let you know, miss, was funded by a PDF file.
To military and deep state. Epstein is a network specifically designed to maintain power and control over all the factions of power around the world.
Yeah, why do you think he funded Bitcoin? Because Bitcoin is not freedom. I'm sorry, Crypto Casey. Your entire channel, by the way, is propped up by an invention, something that was created by a PDF file. Straight up. How does that make you feel? Yeah, no, I think crypto's stupid. I think most people with half of a brain understand that crypto is grifter currency and it was created by a PDF file named Jeffrey Epstein. Well, I would say that Jeffrey Epstein funded the Bitcoin project based on the information that's coming out.
The world. It's
Crazy.
A systemic compromise ring, and the playbook is not new.
She's coping, dude. I think she's coping with the fact that she's been shilling crypto for a long time. She's coping hard.
It's changed hands a few times. Here was the most recent iteration, and there will be more in the future. It's a mechanism that has been held for hundreds of years, so Epstein is not some new thing. Anyone who endeavors to come to power with any significance, a CEO in a corporation, a part of an intelligence agency, a politician, Senate, Congress, president, the more power they garner, the more they need to be compromised in order to be useful to the global elite. Most of us think politicians and the government are in charge. We're wrong. Politicians
Yeah, I think politicians, in my opinion, I think politicians have way more power than they deserve. I'll say that. I think politicians have way more power than they deserve. Without a doubt. But yeah, all crypto is grifto, is all I've been trying to tell you guys. It's all grifter currency, bro. They be grifting. They be sifting while they grifting, yo. Everybody wants to know.
Positions in the government are merely useful to the real power. So Epstein was carefully curated to work at Bear Stearns, to have a story about how he made his money, to appear to be a genius billionaire financier.
I think the way he described markets, though, was honestly very genius. Believe it or not, was very, very genius. And so, yeah, to some degree, he was a genius. And in a lot of ways, he funded based on the files. I mean, it's really pointing that he was one of the early funders of Bitcoin itself, and also was a huge crypto guy. And of course, most people, by the way, the majority of people who use Bitcoin are doing it for nefarious reasons. They're using Bitcoin to human traffic. They're using Bitcoin to... There's horrible things they use Bitcoin for, but human trafficking is one of them. Buying certain types of pornographic material that's illegal. Buying illegal weapons. You name it, man. It's just... It's used in ransomware attacks. Basically, when they do ransomware attacks, they're like, hey, if you want your computers back, pay us in like $1 million in Bitcoin. That's what happens. Bitcoin is a scam. Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, and it needs to be revealed as such. It needs to be revealed as such. And it's sad that people don't realize it. Cyber Production says 90% of crypto is grift money. Sure, but the BTC and it... No, they don't have utility. Bitcoin and Ethereum do not have any real world utility. No, it's not a store of value. It's a string of data. Cyber Productions, can you tell me how a string of data stores value? Tell me, how can a cryptographic string of data store value? And why should I trade my dollars, which are also worthless, by the way, to some degree? Why should I trade my dollars away for some cryptocurrency? Tell me. No, you can't take gold on a plane, but the whole point of owning gold is so that way you can eventually sell it at a higher price and be able to then use the dollars to pay for whatever you want to pay for. No, you can't take gold on a plane. I get that. But it still doesn't change the fact that Bitcoin is still not a store of value. Whether I could hold Bitcoin in a USB drive or not doesn't really matter at the end of the day. All that matters is it's just a string of data. Of course you're going to be able to... Of course a string of data is going to be highly portable, but that's about it. It's not backed by anything. You can move 5 billion in BTC. Okay, because like I said, it's a string of fucking data. A string of data. Of course it's easy to move. Are you an idiot? Yeah, the reason the rich use it is because they're trying to use it on the black market, dude. And by the way, if you've been using Bitcoin all these years, you've been helping Epstein, whether you realize it or not. If you guys have been promoting Bitcoin, you guys were helping Epstein the whole time, so you guys are guilty.
When in reality, he was given a contact list, given a job description, and to prove his utility to the global power network, he had to be compromised, which he was, with heinous crimes against humanity. From there, his mission was to create compromising connections between everyone around the world who had any significant wealth, power, and influence. So they are never allowed to expose this financial, industrial, complex operation, never allowed to leave it, and are forced to continually prove their utility to the global elite network. And if they don't, they either get their reputation tarnished, they get their power stripped away, or they get assassinated. All right, so what does this have to do with Bitcoin? What role does Bitcoin play in this gruesome, disturbing...
Yeah, it has a lot to play because Jeffrey Epstein funded the project.
horror movie. In a recent podcast, Bitcoiner from the very beginning, speaker at the first Bitcoin conference, who published the first book about Bitcoin in 2011, Simon Dixon, does a deep dive we are going to break down together. Hello, I'm Crypto Casey, and in this video we are going to expose the Epstein Bitcoin conspiracy from the recent unsealed Epstein documents, hidden connections that link Epstein's network to Bitcoin's early days, mysterious transactions to high-profile names in finance, and explore what this means for Bitcoin in 2026 and beyond. Let's hit it.
You know what? I want some chicken noodle soup. All right. All right, let's watch this grifter. Yeah, here's the thing. It was created by pedos. Here's the thing. Bitcoin was created by pedos for pedos. That's all I got to say.
Look, there are 3 simple ways we can set up our own parallel system to become a sovereign individual outside of the global elite's corrupt, evil system right now.
The irony is, if you own cryptocurrency in any way, shape, or form, you're not escaping the elite. This is legitimately a structure. Bitcoin is a structure created by the elites. Bitcoin was funded by Jeffrey Epstein, whether you like to admit it or not. You know what that means? By proxy. This was a structure created by the elites. So you're really not escaping the power of the elites. You're only getting into it. How am I ignorant, dude? How am I ignorant? I think you guys are the ignorant ones. You guys are the ones who are coping really hard about this. Epstein, by the looks of it, Epstein funded the Bitcoin project initially. The dollar's worthless. Bitcoin is worthless. The dollar is worthless. This is why I hold on to productive assets. I hold on to stocks, real estate, gold, and silver. I do not hold dollars. I do have some in my checking account, obviously. But that's about the extent of it.
You can get a free account with Uphold, the best wealth management platform that totally replaces banks and exchanges. By getting our paychecks direct deposited into Uphold and by using their new debit cards for everyday spending, we can sever our ties with the traditional financial system, all while earning crypto rewards. 2, we can completely own and control our digital assets with Tangent Wallet, the easiest, most affordable crypto wallet to use that allows us to use our digital assets to buy anything anywhere Visa is accepted with Tangent Pay. And 3, we can start building passive wealth outside of the fiat system by capitalizing on the up and down price action of the crypto market with Go Baby Trade, an AI-enhanced robotic set it forget it.
But no, I think it's ignorant to think that Bitcoin is a good thing. I think Bitcoin is a net negative for society, and of course, something that is a net negative to society was funded by a PDF file.
Crypto trader. Using the links below with Uphold, when we trade $100, we get $20 free. With Tangent, we get a nice discount, and with Go Baby Trade, we get $1,000 off. So, scroll down and become financially sovereign today before it's too late. Okay, so right now there is a deliberate campaign of confusion around Bitcoin that was launched by this compromised network of the powers that be, all in an attempt to make people believe that the Bitcoin network is compromised. There are allegations being tossed around the mainstream media, with people saying Bitcoin was created by Epstein.
It wasn't created by Epstein, but it was definitely funded based on what I see. And that's a problem. That means Bitcoin's entire, and he was very interested from day one in cryptocurrency. And of course he would be. Why wouldn't he be? He wanted something he could use to purchase things illegally. And in a lot of ways, anybody who promoted Bitcoin all these years, the blood is on you, dude. The blood is on your hands.
That Bitcoin is controlled by Israel. That Bitcoin is a Mossad asset. All sorts of things. So before we clear up all the confusion buzzing around, we need to understand what Bitcoin is and how it works.
It's a Ponzi scheme. That's what it is. Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. It submits to greater fool theory. It participates in greater fool theory. It requires somebody stupider than... Like if I buy Bitcoin, let's say I buy Bitcoin at $65,000. Let's say Bitcoin does go up to $80,000 and I decide, hey, we're just going to use one Bitcoin as an example. Let's say I am going to sell $65,000. I'm going to sell $80,000 worth of Bitcoin at a higher price. Now, granted, Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, and I want people to be aware of that. But those of you who are heavily invested into Bitcoin, though, I hope you know that Bitcoin is a heavy, heavy Ponzi scheme created by PDF files. I hope it's obviously clear. The files are just revealing more and more about Bitcoin, more than anything. Yeah.
2008, Bitcoin was a white paper. Then it was turned into code and launched in January of 2009 as an open source project where everyone can see the code 100% completely transparent. And if anyone wants to propose a change to the code, they go to an open source Bitcoin repository on GitHub and submit a Bitcoin improvement proposal, BIP for short. From there, people engage in an open source boardroom of sorts to debate whether the change is a good idea or a bad idea, and the best ideas rise to the top. Now, within Bitcoin's developer community, there is a level of hierarchy where certain people are more important, have more influence, and have access to pushing code changes to Bitcoin's protocol. So over time, there have been open source debates and compromises to influence and control parts of the code. Once any code changes are made to the official Bitcoin network, then anyone can fork it off, create another version of it if there is consensus by the community. Consensus must be reached by Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin node operators. Bitcoin miners use a ton of energy, require investments into expensive infrastructure, and
it's all a waste of money because you are basically wasting good sticks of RAM, good processors, all to solve pointless puzzles. I would say that Bitcoin is a net negative to society. It is one of the most worthless things that's ever been created for society. Bitcoin needs to just die, is all I'm trying to get at. Bitcoin needs to die. It is terrible. No, basically, Bitcoin is a digital multi-level marketing scheme at the end of the day. It requires that new idiotic investors get in so that way the old investors can get a payout. Because the old investors know
so what I can
that Bitcoin is click coin.
The whole Epstein decentralized by the developer community.
By the way, this channel sucks. Like, I understand that she understands Bitcoin, and that's great. But at the end of the day, though, Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme, and it's not worth anything. It doesn't do anything that's valuable for society except for excessive energy consumption. It's stupid. It's really dumb.
And when consensus is reached by the Bitcoin miners and Bitcoin nodes, the new code is committed by a hierarchy of decentralized developer power. So when accusations are made, like a single server, a computer, a miner, or even several servers, computers, or mining pools can take control of the Bitcoin network, or that there's a backdoor to Bitcoin, or a centralized way that Bitcoin can be compromised. Any way at all that a compromised...
Oh, Bitcoin will eventually get compromised by quantum computers. It's only a matter of time. And the quantum computing industry is going to be very real, by the way. And to those of you who think it's full of fluff, I think you guys are fools. How is gold a fake Ponzi scheme? Gold actually has real-world utility in this life. Bitcoin is a string of data, whereas gold actually has real-world utility and can be utilized as a conductor. It's very malleable. It also can be used in jewelry. Gold has several utilities. Bitcoin has no utility. That's the problem with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not digital gold. It is digital slop. It is slop at the end of the day. And I'm very proud about my anti-Bitcoin stance, by the way. I'm very proud of it.
Group of people, compromised company, government, investor, venture capitalist,
don't forget to tap the like button, though. The more likes we get, the better. It does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. So I do want to thank you guys for even taking the time to be not only subscribers, which I greatly appreciate more than you guys know, but people taking the time to like the stream, subscribe to the stream, whatever you guys can do. I mean, it helps more than anybody could ever know. More than anybody can know. So you guys are just amazing people. Very sexy.
Entity can take control of Bitcoin. The accusations are false. Nothing can be done to take control of the whole Bitcoin network. Now, over time, certain people and entities have tried to invest more in order to try and gain more influence over the network, and have tried to compromise key players in the ecosystem, like developers, miners, companies that offer Bitcoin services. However, Bitcoin is the most decentralized system that exists in the world today.
Okay, and that's fantastic that it's decentralized, but at the end of the day, Bitcoin is still not backed by anything that is remotely valuable. When you trade if I trade dollars in, I am literally trading my dollars for a worthless string of data. That is the point I'm trying to make. It's worthless strings of data. I just don't know if you guys are comprehending what I'm trying to tell you. Give me a moment. All right, let's listen to this. Let's listen to this crypto shill. She's coping hard, dude. She's coping with the fact that she's helped Jeffrey Epstein all these years. All the people who are using Bitcoin just suddenly realize that, dude, we've been helping this PDF file all these years. That's crazy. It really is. I mean, really think about it. It's wild.
100%. So even though the global elites may have complete control over mainstream media, the traditional financial system, fiat currencies, they've never been able to take control of Bitcoin. Amazing.
Why would they need to? Bitcoin's not freedom. It's literally, if you think about it, look at the bigger picture here. Bitcoin is a Ponzi scheme. If anything, the big financial players realize this, and anything with an intrinsic value of zero goes to zero. What they're realizing is all they have to do is basically bet against the idiots who are pumping it up. Once you bet against Bitcoin, you could win the game.
So now that we know that Epstein was a compromised network, and we understand that Bitcoin is perpetually under attack, trying to be compromised, now we can expose the...
It should always... I really do hope that Bitcoin goes down. I think Bitcoin's terrible.
Epstein Bitcoin conspiracy circling around the media from the latest unsealed Epstein documents and speculate why the Bitcoin price is crashing. Alright, so one attack vector was targeting different developer teams involved in the Bitcoin network since the inception, which includes Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin XT, Bitcoin Classic, all the different implementations through Bitcoin's history. Certain people or companies would try to push developers in a certain direction that would steer Bitcoin's code in their favor, aka compromising Bitcoin at large. There were projects that attempted to create alternatives to Bitcoin with privacy mechanisms for money laundering purposes. There was a network of people who wanted to use Bitcoin as a gateway drug to a central bank digital currency. There were
sadly, yes,
smear campaigns launched to try and discredit Bitcoin, and also deliberate operations to centralize as many Bitcoin into Wall Street's custody so they could launch financial products on top of Bitcoin to control and suppress the price, like they do with gold, as well as force everyone to rely on them to custody their Bitcoin in their system to prevent us from completely owning and controlling our Bitcoin with our own wallets, like Tangent Wallet, which we can get for a discount using the link below. So
God, you're basically owning a string of data, though. That's the point I have. It's a string of data, dude. It's a string of freaking data. That's all it is, bro. That's all it'll ever be. Bitcoin is so utterly worthless, man.
So those are some of the developer-based attacks launched on Bitcoin over the years that were confirmed in the latest unsealed Epstein documents. In one specific email from back in 2011, there is evidence that Jeffrey Epstein was trying to figure out who was involved in its development. And we can speculate that Epstein was either trying to figure out who the main players were behind Bitcoin to start building relationships in order to compromise them, or to compromise the Bitcoin network, or he was trying to figure out if Bitcoin could be used to compromise powerful people, or if Bitcoin could be used to perpetuate his crimes. So with the Bitcoin white paper coming out in 2008, and the code launched in 2009, since Epstein's email trying to figure out who was behind Bitcoin wasn't sent until 2011, we can speculate that he was not involved in the early days of its development, and that he is not, in fact, Satoshi Nakamoto, or involved in Bitcoin's creation at all.
I do believe. No. I think he was involved with it, into it well before 2011. I think he was involved in it well before 2011. I really do. I think he funded it. And there's just so much evidence. I wouldn't say so much, but there's a lot of... It all points to it, you know what I mean? It all points to it. It all points to Epstein at the end of the day.
And one of the emails where Epstein claims to have been in contact with the founders, plural, founders of Bitcoin, he was most likely not using that.
By the way, I do believe that Satoshi Nakamoto is a group and not an individual. That's what I believe, personally.
Term correctly, and was referring to some developers in the Bitcoin community. Claims of Epstein communicating with Satoshi Nakamoto continue to be completely unfounded. No evidence. He was contacting developers because he was looking to fund an alternative to Bitcoin focused on privacy. And there is evidence that he did the same with Zcash, a privacy cryptocurrency that uses a protocol called Zero Knowledge Proof, which was developed in a project that came from innovation at Tel Aviv University in Israel, which is where an Israel connection exists that people are turning into Mossad and similar. Is there an Israel element to this twisted tale? Let me know what you suspect.
I mean, the fact that this lady... I hate crypto channels so much. I think crypto channels are the worst. And I think gals like Crypto Casey only make crypto... I just think it's all bad. I think it all sucks. I mean, this Crypto Casey gal is shilling. I still think Bitcoin was created by pedos for pedos. I really believe that. I believe that should be the motto for Bitcoin going forward, but hopefully, sadly, nobody's going to adopt that.
Suspect in the comments below. All right, so in 2014, there is evidence that Epstein invested in Coinbase in a seed round. And that same year, there is an email between him and Peter Thiel where they are discussing an operation to discredit Bitcoin. Oddly enough, Mt. Gox, an exchange that held 70% of the total circulating supply of Bitcoin, got hacked. And this almost destroyed Bitcoin because people were trying to say it was a flaw in the Bitcoin code when it was actually the exchange that got.
I mean, yeah, look, Bitcoin exchanges are shady as hell. Even Coinbase is, in my opinion. I think Coinbase is absolutely shady. I think all crypto exchanges are shady. I think all crypto is shady. I think it's created by PDF files for PDF files.
Hacked. Was this related to Thiel and Epstein's operation to discredit Bitcoin? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Also, around this time, there was a bankruptcy of the Bitcoin Foundation, which is how Bitcoin developers were paid. So the Bitcoin Foundation was recreated and was handed over to MIT. And Epstein funded some of that MIT innovation, which was called...
Oh, no, you're right. I am seriously, I am a hater of Bitcoin. I hate all cryptocurrencies equally. I think Bitcoin is the worst of it all. I think Bitcoin is terrible. And House Party 13, sure, you can say I'm a hater. That's absolutely fine. Say what you want. I mean, I'll agree with you on that one. I agree with you completely. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I agree. I am one. Because I think that Bitcoin is easy to hate.
The DCI, Digital Currency Initiative, and it included 3 Bitcoin core developers who were funded by Epstein. This was an attempt to gain as much influence and control over Bitcoin as possible at that time, around 2015. One of the developers funded by Epstein was part of a group that created Bitcoin Cash in 2017 as a hard fork operation. They used it to trick people into thinking it was the real Bitcoin. And at one point, through an exchange, manipulated the price of Bitcoin Cash upwards while manipulating the price of Bitcoin downwards. This was likely an attempt to destroy Bitcoin's...
Cyber Production says, right, why does the string of data have value? It has 0 intrinsic value, but yet it has value. No, the reason, by the way, the only reason there's market value even associated with Bitcoin is because everybody has this perceptual value of Bitcoin, but they don't realize that Bitcoin is intrinsically worthless because people don't realize what real money looks like. Bitcoin is not real money. Gold and silver, that could be considered real money deep down. Frog eat frog. What's going on, Brony?
Reputation, and also an attempt to divide and conquer the Bitcoin community. A similar thing happened after that with Bitcoin SV and so on. This kept fracturing the Bitcoin community, and it was clearly a deliberate divide and conquer operation to keep everyone fighting each other until there was nothing left. So here's the deal. There's nothing new happening here. It's been this...
because there is nothing new. It was originally created. Bitcoin was created by PDF files for PDF files. That's the age-old story told throughout time. Yeah, the U.S. dollar has 0 value as well. The U.S. dollar is completely worthless. All currencies, all physical and digital currencies, are absolutely worthless. The only things that are worth anything as far as actual intrinsic value are stocks, real estate, gold, silver. Let's see. I'm trying to think of other things. But yeah. Bitcoin doesn't have a navy exactly. Yeah, at the end of the day, all cryptocurrency is a string of data. It's completely worthless. It has no intrinsic value. Nobody actually really wants it. The only reason people get into it is because they hope that they cross their fingers and hope that they could sell it at a higher price to somebody stupider than they are for actually buying into it. So it's basically Bitcoin is stupidity squared. I repeat, Bitcoin and all of cryptocurrency is stupidity squared. BRB. I mean, arguing with you guys is like arguing with children. People in the chat, all you pro-Bitcoin people, arguing with you guys is like arguing with children. We all know that Bitcoin's a scam. I think it's pretty obvious. But yet nobody wants to outright say it, though. And that's my main issue. Nobody wants to outright say that Bitcoin's a scam when they should. They absolutely should. Without a doubt. Yeah, I may call it a night here in just a second. Hey, secretly not sure. Thank you for tuning in, man. But we're not done just yet. I may just end the stream at like 12 o'clock or something, or maybe 11:30, just so that way I can get some reading in. I want to get some reading in. Let's keep watching this shit. Hey, thank you guys for subscribing to the channel, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. So don't forget to tap subscribe. It really does help in more ways than you guys could ever imagine. So thank you guys.
This way since the beginning. Bitcoin is always under attack, will always be under attack, and guess what? It keeps surviving. Don't let them keep...
Oh, it deserves to be under attack, but here's the thing. It's not under attack. Look, the security for Bitcoin is very good. Granted, the security for the overall Bitcoin software is amazing. Don't get me wrong. However, the entire network, just because it's almost virtually uncrackable for now, doesn't mean that crypto in itself, including Bitcoin, isn't intrinsically worthless. You do realize that the only thing that you're holding on to is a worthless string of data, right? It's a worthless string of data. That's all it is. And that is what you own, is a worthless string of data. Keep that in mind. With an intrinsic value of 0, not backed by a single thing. Except for the software. And even then, the software is open source. So because the software is open source, people can make their own versions of any sort of... People can make their own Bitcoin clones if they really want to. They can create their own stupid Bitcoin networks. They're little fake-ass Bitcoin networks, you know?
Trying to divide and distract us. Unfortunately, some people will choose not to own Bitcoin because they think Epstein, the CIA, or whoever created it. And that's exactly what they want us to think. Because owning Bitcoin in self-custody...
It's because it's fucking true. It's because it's true. That's the point that you're not acknowledging. Can't stand this girl. This girl sucks, dude. I mean, this girl's the worst. She's awful, man. She's terrible.
is the only way to become financially sovereign, and the thing that gives us the power to reject funding Epstein's elite network. Because our money is being used for criminal, degenerate activities. And sadly, sure, we have to have a bank account. We have to use fiat currency. However, we do have options to opt out and set up an escape valve from the digital prison being built that is designed to enslave us in this Orwellian surveillance nightmare. Having our Bitcoin in self-custody takes our energy out of the evil, demonic, corrupt system, and it's one of the only chances we have at being—
Oh, it's still within the system, you dunce. Because the problem is, even if you put your Bitcoin into cold storage, it's still the actual string of data is tied to your wallet. So you putting it, you keeping it on a USB drive doesn't really matter. And you know the sad part is, you holding on to it makes it even worse, because if you're not selling it, because if everybody sold it once, Bitcoin would go to near zero. And if Bitcoin would have went to near zero, then a lot of Epstein's stupid adventures wouldn't have been funded. Because here's the thing, terrible people use Bitcoin. I want to make that clear. Terrible people use Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I want to make that very clear. Majority. I would say probably, I'm going to take a guess. We'll say 60 to 80% of the people who use Bitcoin for whatever reasons to purchase things, I think are usually using it to purchase illegal things. Why am I arguing with a YouTube video? Because I think I'm out of my fucking mind, dude. I might be out of my mind. I'm losing it, dude. I'm losing it. Just kidding.
Becoming a sovereign
JK.
individual and having a more prosperous, free future. And now we have more options to substantially remove ourselves from the system and become financially sovereign. Here's how we can effortlessly accumulate more Bitcoin for basically free and completely own and control it with self-custody. Check it out. We can have our paychecks direct deposited into Uphold, the next generation.
Ew. Fucking ew. Whatever she's promoting right now, I'm going to let her promote it, obviously, but I want to say that I am vehemently against whatever she's promoting, because it looks like some bullshit crypto thing. So you're basically taking your hard-earned money, even though it's not money, it's cash. Cash is worthless. So you're taking your hard-earned cash and placing it into this stupid, weird system called, was it Upstart?
A finance that is the bridge we can cross.
Uphold. That's not a bridge. That's stupidity. It's not. What is up with people like this? They are so diluted. People like this are so. She can't believe. She cannot believe everything that she's telling you guys. I hope she doesn't. And she may be that deluded. She may be at peak Michael Saylor levels of delusion. I wouldn't be surprised if she was like a Michael Saylor style delusional person. Because Michael Saylor is so delusional about Bitcoin, it sickens me. It sickens me. Yeah. Bitcoin's a Ponzi scheme, bro. It's a Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme.
From the failing fiat system to financial sovereignty, Uphold keeps our money and digital assets fully reserved, 100% backed one-to-one, where we can earn 4% back in XRP crypto rewards for every dollar.
What? How useless is that? Oh, I get 4% back in XRP, something that's even... So I basically put I trade my cash in for something that's useless, and then while I'm holding that useless thing, I'm going to get 4% back of that useless thing to hold on to it. How great is that?
Deposited, which we can convert into Bitcoin.
How dumb
and with
is
their
that?
new US debit cards, we can spend any of our secured digital assets, cash, Bitcoin, XRP, gold, Ethereum, anything instantly.
This is wild, bro. This is wild. This might be even worse than an FTX ad. This is worse than an FTX ad. And FTX ads were cringy as shit. By the way, screw you, FTX.
Anywhere Visa is accepted, all while earning XRP rewards on every dollar spent. Which,
dude, I love watching these Ponzi scheme channels. This is a Ponzi scheme channel, straight up. Lady, Crypto Casey, whatever your name is, you got to realize that you are promoting a Ponzi. Straight up Ponzi, dude. And I hope Bitcoin crashes to near zero. I really do. I hope that Bitcoin crashes to near zero because it deserves to. It has an intrinsic value of zero. Therefore, anything with an intrinsic value of zero must go to zero eventually. That's just the rule.
We can convert into Bitcoin. From there, all the Bitcoin we accumulate, we can completely own and control our Bitcoin by transferring it to a Tangent cold storage hardware wallet. It's the simplest, most affordable way to secure our digital assets outside of the traditional financial system. The setup and using it is super easy, just a tap of
This sounds like a scam, dude. Tangent? That just sounds scammy. But hey, you know what? If you guys want to sign up for whatever the hell this crypto Casey, I should call her Grifto Casey, whatever she's trying to pitch you guys, this is so dumb.
card to our phone. It only takes like 90 seconds to set up. We can do everything in the cryptoverse. Buy, sell, swap, stake, use DeFi, and now we can
How much do you want to bet this is like an How much do you want to bet that this company that she's promoting is going to go under the same way that FTX went under? Because any company that promotes crypto is a scam. How much do you want to bet it's going to go under? I'm willing to I'm not going to really bet any money because I don't like to gamble. But that's why I buy silver on the dip. I don't like to gamble. I'll never I have purchased Bitcoin on the dip, and I still think Bitcoin is utterly worthless. I think it's one of the most worthless things ever created by mankind. And I think Bitcoin sucks. I legitimately do. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, though. The more subscribers we get, the better. It does help the channel grow. We're currently sitting pretty at 8,226 subscribers. Once again, we're at 8,226 subs. So make sure you guys tap the subscribe button right now, as it really does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. We're trying to really expand our reach to more people. So like I said, we want to get out there, man. We want to do our thing, man.
Instantly spin crypto anywhere Visa is accepted with the new Tangent Pay feature. And with any money we have sitting around, we can put it to work with AI to start building wealth outside of the failing fiat system with
By the way, I know the fiat system is failing. I know the dollar is fiat currency. Just to let everybody know, I'm aware that the dollar is fiat currency. Why do you think I buy silver whenever it dips? Because I trust buying silver on the dip more than I trust holding onto the dollar long term. That is just how I am. That's just how I'm wired, bro. Straight up how I'm wired. Yeah, no, I don't buy. By the way, whenever I buy silver on the dip, I'm not going all in. I'm trickle buying into it. Majority of my portfolio. By the way, silver only takes up about usually 3 to 6% of my portfolio at all times. 3 to 6% of it. The rest of it is very well diversified ETFs, index ETFs specifically of international and U.S. based stocks. I'm set for life. I never have to worry about my portfolio because I put myself in the position to win. You guys, I bet most of you idiots on here have a crypto portfolio, and that's all you have. And if you have a crypto portfolio, you are going to be poor. And I'm going to tell you this, the same stuff that you guys told me all those years. Have fun. If you buy Bitcoin, have fun staying poor. If you hold Bitcoin, have fun staying poor. Have fun staying poor, because you want to know what it is? It's a fucking Ponzi scheme. It is a digital multi-level marketing scheme, and I want you to all be aware of that. I'm educating you. Hard. It's blasphemy. This is madness. Madness. This is Sparta. My God. Let's keep watching this Grifto Casey girl.
Go Baby Trade. It's a set it, forget it, AI enhanced robotic crypto trader that makes us passive profits, which we can use to buy Bitcoin. Every time the price of cryptocurrency goes up and down, it capitalizes on the chaos, making money from the price volatility of the crypto markets.
You do realize that you're participating in greater fool theory, right? That the reason that Bitcoin's volatile is because nobody can really agree on the price of it because, well, first off, I think more people realize that it has an intrinsic value of zero. Just because there's a limited amount of Bitcoin within the blockchain doesn't mean that it's actually valuable in any way. You can have limited anything. There's a limited amount of Beanie Babies out there, but you're not going to have to pay an arm and a leg to get them. Just because something is of limited supply does not make it valuable. Yeah, Bitcoin sucks, dude. No, Bitcoin sucks. Bitcoin is terrible. Yeah, I watch these things to make myself angry.
Wednesday,
I do like getting, here's the thing. One of the reasons I watch these in front of you guys is just to see how angry I get. I want to see how angry I can get. I really do. I want to see if this actually lights a fire under my ass. You know what I mean?
there's a live weekly webinar where we can ask any questions we may have about how it works. Using the links below with Uphold, when we trade $100, we get $20 free. With Tangent, we get nice discounts. And with Go Baby Trade, we get $1,000 off. So scroll down and become financially sovereign today before it's too late. If you'd like to learn more about how we can use AI to make passive profits in crypto from the constant up and down price action with Go Baby Trade, check out this video. If you'd like to learn how the next generation of banking with Uphold is a way better, safer option for storing our money and managing crypto than banks and exchange.
If you think that Uphold, by the way, if you think that Uphold is a safe way to store any of your cash, I got a bridge to sell you. I got a effing bridge to sell you, bro.
Just check out this video. And to sign up for a free Uphold account, click on the link on the screen.
Yuck. Screw that. I'm glad I disliked that video. I'm glad I tapped the dislike button. That was slop. Oh shit, Peter Schiff debated Amos. Saifuddin Amos. Hell yeah. I love Peter Schiff, dude. Peter Schiff is my favorite.
There is a global satanic religion that does operate aspects of cults around the world.
So this is the Danny Jones podcast, Danny Jones clips. I'm going to subscribe to it and tap the like button. Let's take a look. Let's take a listen, man.
Whether you think that like Hillary Clinton is literally in it or not is a whole different like level of conspiracy. But like
a global satanic religion?
Oh yeah, dude. Have you gone down the satanic ritual abuse rabbit hole? It is so dark.
It sounds pretty dark, dude. I've looked into it a little bit. I'm afraid to go too deep into that rabbit hole, man. There's some rabbit holes I don't even want to go down. Some rabbit holes that freak me out so much, I'm just like, nope, I can't do it.
What I'm referring to specifically are survivors giving survivor testimony on video, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Like not like one guy came forward and said this, like there are whole support networks for these people. Like there are psychologists that specialize in satanic SRA victims, satanic ritual abuse. And because you have to like treat them in a whole different way than a regular abuse victim, because the level of depravity and disgusting, like
Sweet Tooth says I can handle having lots of money. Most people can't. I can too. I have a lot of I keep a lot, so I try to keep at least a bare minimum of $10,000 in the checking account. I try that. I try to keep that around that amount because I look at my checking account like a gas tank because I like to make sure I always have money available to pay bills and shit. And then the rest of my dough is constantly in my brokerage account being used in swing trading. Now I do have a long-term portfolio. 70 to 80% of my portfolio is very long-term. 20 to 30% though is swing traded. So that's a big deal. So I love swing trading. I'm a big swing trading nut. It's never going to stop and I'm very diversified. So it's a good thing. So yeah, I'm always going to have money, which is good. That's like one of the things that makes me happy. I'm always going to have some sort of source of income at the end of the day through investing.
Literal torture of children, like literal. So, your episode is so screwed now, but there's one in particular that this guy was on the Alondra Markman podcast, and I wish I could remember his name. And this
stuff gets really dark. I just want to give a warning to you guys. Some of the stuff that they describe in this. I haven't seen this clip, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be disgusting and terrible. And it sucks, man.
Don't even want to pull it up because it's so dark. And everyone should, watch it for themselves and judge it for themselves in terms of whether you think he's telling the truth or not. But personally, it's like you can look into his life, and this guy, like his whole life is based around him recovering from this essentially story of his childhood and abuse. And it looks looks far more likely that he's telling mostly the truth than entirely lies to me. And what he alleges in this interview that aired like a year ago or so a little less, on Alondra Markman's podcast, is that he was born into a satanic family, of which there are many around the world, and that he was groomed from an early age to essentially be a Jeffrey Epstein type of character in a global satanic cult that is not all satanic, but the Satanists are a part of this sort of bigger network of crime and everything. And he alleges...
It's so weird, man. It's so weird. Thank you for liking and subscribing, though. I do appreciate it big time. But yeah, this whole thing's just frightening to me.
That he was...
I'm curious how they define themselves, Satanists. Like, what is the definition of a Satanist to them?
My understanding is that some of them, based on what he said, is that some of them are literally worshiping Satan, and some of them are practicing these things in this cult format and structure. And when I tell you what he's alleging, you'll realize that are so like.
Yeah, this is too a little creepy sometimes. But yeah, thank you, Sweet Tooth, for liking and subscribing. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you guys subscribe. It does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. The more subscribers we get, the better. The more likes we get, the better. So more likes, more subscribes. It really does keep the channel flowing. It keeps the channel going.
Like, in the same way that like some Jews are really practicing Jewish people, and some Jewish people are, and I don't mean to say, I'm not trying to make that connection. I'm just saying that we were just talking about Jews. Some people are more practicing of a religion than others, but you might still go to church, and you might still, you might identify as Christian, but you're not as Christian as the next guy. But he alleges that he was groomed from an early age, tortured every day as a child, was like abused every day as a child.
It's so messed up, dude.
To be groomed to have multiple personalities, and then by the time he was like a preteen, he was engaging in child death matches where he would be put in a cage and he would fight to the death with another child in like downtown New York in underground like parties that rich people and businessmen would attend. And then that he and it sounds
this is blowing my mind, dude. This is fucking with me, man.
Sounds so insane. But when you watch it, it's like hard. And it's not like he's the only one that has claimed this. He's just one that put it all in a particularly, like, lots of people have lots of claims about this kind of shit. And he also claims that then after that, he was being groomed to be an actor. And he froze up in his acting interview. And so he got shifted from the acting pathway. Because these guys, like, there's a fuckload of money in this community, allegedly. As in... it's tied into all of the global sex trafficking networks, because how do you think that global trafficking sort of gets all the handlers and gets all of the sort of like operatives that run it is you need people that were abused in order to run these things, because you need to be that kind of broken, like you need to be groomed to be able to run this without breaking it all.
Is this all like tied into like the Franklin scandal?
Similar, yeah. So he claims he met Jeffrey Epstein on 2 occasions. He claims that he was being groomed to essentially be a handler similar to Jeffrey Epstein. And he had a really lucid description that Jeffrey Epstein was an insanely good code switcher, is what made Jeffrey unique, that he could be completely normal businessman, like banker guy right now, and then like literally turn the other way and be an absolute depraved, abusive.
He could just wear multiple masks. That's crazy. Whew. The dude was... unreal
monster, and then like right back on like the drop of a pin, and that's what made him so unique in this guy's perspective. And he kind of like had his programming, his like trauma did not work correctly, and so rather than going that route, he became a breeder. And he alleges that he was sent to a compound in Mexico where he would breed with trafficked girls all day, every single day, for like 2 or 3 years. And they would just breed and breed and breed. And
what the frick? I swear, the more we dive into this shit, the more scared I get.
He alleges that is because they were particularly interested in him because of his bloodline and his heritage as some sort of direct descendant of King Solomon, is what he says. And it's like,
who's this dude? What's this dude's name again?
I don't remember his name. I remember that he was on the Alondra Markman podcast, and she is a survivor of satanic ritual abuse as well.
Is she Anik Lucas?
Yes, Anik Lucas.
Annika Lucas.
Okay, so
this is what.
Okay, so Alondra Markman is his name, and Annika Lucas is her name. She's the one hosting the podcast, and
so
that's
he's the guy.
podcast.
He's the descendant of who?
So what he says in there is that they were interested in him because he has something like 97% Ashkenazi Jewish heritage or something like that, and is allegedly a direct descendant of King Solomon's bloodline.
That's kind of crazy. That is honestly, truly wild. Some of these cults, man, they get real disturbing.
He doesn't say whether he knows that's true or not or anything. He just says that he was under the impression that was why he got selected for the breeding program specifically. And
does he have any proof of this?
Not really, no. And so that's why I say,
based on my brother's 23andMe. Based on my brother's 23andMe, this guy is the direct descendant of King Solomon. That's all the proof you need is my brother's 23andMe. Just saying, bro. Just saying, bro.
like you should, and first, you should not watch it if you are at all sensitive in any way, and you should only watch.
Yeah, watching those types of videos, even them describing it's sad. It honestly, it's just sad. It's tough to become. It really, I don't know. It's tough to become numb to that stuff. It really is.
Watch it when you are of like a sound heart and ready to like hear some of the most dark and fucked up things you've ever heard in your life. But I
can't believe it's not like fully fucking shadow banned.
I mean, it kind of is, but not really. Yeah,
this one just came out 3 days ago.
I think that the reason it's not is because it's so unbelievable, and he's not the only one. There's so many people that have made claims like this.
It's not even. Go back. Yeah. Hover your mouse over it. See, it plays the preview when you hover your mouse over it. That means it's not even demonetized. That's insane.
Is it possible that it's not monetized in the first place? That she doesn't even monetize her channel?
Well, it still wouldn't show it if you searched, right?
But when you demonetize stuff, when
I don't really know how it works.
So when YouTube demonetizes a video and you hover over the thumbnail, it'll just show a play button. It won't show you a preview.
Good to know. So I did a little bit of digging into it because I had the same take on it as this is so unbelievable. I got to look into this guy. And what I found is that he would have to be like an entirely fake person who is actively, his life is dedicated to pushing this narrative. Because in the sense that he has history going back to therapy, he's known her personally, like she's putting her whole like life on the line for having known him. He's been on lots of interviews and podcasts. He's like his whole sort of background, like there is lots of records of who he is and the fact that he has been talking about this his entire life since exiting the cult, so to speak. And I think that everyone should make their own judgment of whether he's honest or not and what's going on. And my perspective is not that.
And no, I think a lot of these people are honest. I think that this satanic crap actually does happen. And I think a lot of it was also happening on that Epstein Island, dude. And in other places around the U.S. It's not just on weird, freaky islands done by billionaire dudes. It's everywhere.
That I know he is for sure telling the truth. My perspective is just that he is a data point among many that all point towards this is at least a factor in our world.
Go back. This is Alondra's. Go to that page you were just on.
Maybe it says the same page.
That's him. That's like his current life. That's what he does
chaos.
now.
Friend, I've been expecting you. Sweet disorder to my order. It's hellish, being a complex life form, hellish and sweet. Come lust become.
Some lust
becomes love. Other lust returns to the earth. Swear to me that you'll complicate my life, and I'll reason with elegant simplicity that I can handle it.
I think it's a poem. He's got
so
poetry
you've got to realize that this, if he's telling the truth, this is one of the most broken and then rebuilt human beings you have ever encountered in your life.
Mm-hmm. The fact that he's even a remotely normal person, not even normal, but he's a functional person. The fact that he's a functional person after going through all that is wild to me. E.T. says the Garza cult. Oh my God, no.
He alleges that he murdered countless children as a child.
He says this?
Yeah.
Because he was forced to. That's crazy. He was forced to murder. That's wild.
He was child death cage matches, where rich people would pay to come into these.
Yeah, so it's not like, and they would pay to, that's so disturbing. That really is sick. It's disgusting in so many ways.
underground fight matches in New York City, in the underground, in secret locations, and pay to watch children fight to the death.
I'm currently 38 years old.
He has history going back to therapy. Everyone should make that this is at least a factor in our world.
Go back.
Factor in our world.
Go back. This is Alondra's. Go to that
life. That's what he does
chaos.
now.
Ah, friend. Comes love.
It's a poem.
The truth. And then rebuilt human beings. You countless children as a child.
He says this?
Yeah. Because he was child death cage matches. Like where rich people would pay to come into these underground fight matches in New York City, in the underground, in secret locations, and pay to watch children fight to the death.
Who the fuck would want to pay to watch that?
Well, think about Jeffrey Epstein's clientele, right? We know that that's real.
You think
right?
Bill Clinton wanted to pay to watch it?
No.
Okay.
I'm just saying, like, think this through as a thought experiment.
Okay.
If you have everything in the world and like lust and power, like addictions, anyone who's ever experienced any form of addiction, whether it's like to alcohol or to Adderall or to like porn or heroin, all those addictions kind of play on this sort of like this feeling, this like desire of like, oh, I just felt so good. And like whatever else is wrong in the world, like that's not wrong. And that's good. And they all kind of play on these same things. And powerful people, power, money, that lust for power, when turned towards the lusting and the greed, the darker side of power and money is inevitably an addiction as well in a lot of ways. And not everyone who's powerful and rich goes down that road. But clearly, like the Epstein clients do, like clearly they want children, like they want to do. And there are snuff films, like people pay on the internet right now to watch murder, like to watch.
That's still, I know that's how some people are, unfortunately. It's just sickening, man.
These kinds of things, because there's inherently a devil in everyone, I think. The way I see it is that there's
but even if there's a devil in everybody, I think there's a certain level of disgusting in everybody, and I think that there's just some people who, like, I can watch a gore video. I don't want to watch it though. I can, but they hurt my soul. Like, there's something about them that just hurt my soul, and it's terrible, man. It's terrible.
Laugh out loud.
There's an angel and a devil in all of us, and you can feed the good wolf or the bad wolf. And some people get.
Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Fahonda Clark, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it.
Laugh out loud.
Yeah. And thank you again. Give a shout out to Fahonda Clark for subscribing. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for subbing. Appreciate you. All right, I'm just trying to get through this
to feeding the bad wolf. And a lot of times in a capitalist society that incentivizes greed and lust, like it incentivizes a lot of our worst behaviors, that means that a lot of the worst people will rise to the top of that system. And when you have people that are, I mean, you know, if you have
those who anger you control you, that's probably why I've got so many subscribers. Thank you, Fahonda Clark. I appreciate you. Big time. Thank you.
1,000 people that rise to the top of the capitalistic system in a room, one of them is probably going to be fucking evil, right? At least one. And you only need one billionaire or millionaire to be super evil, that suddenly there's a market for some really evil shit, right? Right? Because they have all the money in the world.
Can we watch some Chris Hansen instead?
They'll pay for it, right? What is the point of having all that money if you're not going to pay for whatever you desire? And so in a world this big, with this many rich people, with this much corruption, with this much evil in it, with people like Jeffrey Epstein in it, I think, yeah, there's totally a bunch of fucking people that will pay for some horrible shit.
Yeah.
Including the president of the United States, Bill Clinton.
Right.
And I'm not saying he necessarily went and watched child cage matches, but Alondra Markman alleges that he was a fighter in child death cage matches, and he directly alleges that he saw more. I forget his exact words, but it was like, I saw world leaders from other countries that you might not recognize, but they're definitely power. Like he alleges that he saw some very powerful people at those events.
Freaking wild, dude. Underground cage matches. Insane.
Does he name any of them?
No, he he talks it through actually in a way that kind of actually to me added credibility in the sense of like, he's like, I'm not going to say those names because I think they're still alive, they're still out there. But he names a few people that he's like, I'm pretty sure that guy's dead, and that guy's like, I'm not really worried about that name because it's a pseudonym I know, and like it's not gonna. But he doesn't really. He's thoughtful about if his story was true. He's presenting it in a way that would kind of be like. That's the problem. It's like it's kind of unprovable because he's not gonna be like, this is the guy's name and he lives at that address and that's where it was, because like then he's clearly gonna die if he's telling the truth. But also if he's not telling the truth, then it's like
it's a crazy fucking conspiracy.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are just really fucking full of shit. And unless you
That's true. Some people can be. Absolutely. I do have to agree with Danny on this one. I mean, some people really get to a point of like they're just full of crap and they want to be a victim. That's true. That can happen. Some people want to be a victim so bad that they make up an entire identity around a false victimhood thing. So yeah, that's absolutely a possibility. That can happen at any time. Yes.
You have some.
Give me one moment, though, you guys. I need to go to the bathroom for a second. So.